Ole Miss did to Ohio State exactly what you expected Ole Miss to do to Ohio State, and that is win 8-0 in the Bruce Bolt Classic. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, the most watched Ole Miss podcast around. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member as well. We are part of the number one podcast sports network in America in Locked On Sports, and we're proud to be affiliated with them as well. On today's show, we're talking about my favorite dirtbag, that is Dom Decker, who hit 2 home runs against Ohio State. We had a grand slam on a first pitch hit from Brett Mosely and Cade Townsend. He is slowly turning into a Saturday ace on this staff. All of this and more on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Remember, we're free and available on all the podcast apps and on YouTube. And a special hello to the insiders and everydayers who make this show what it is. And that's your team every single day. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back. No fork needed. Vanilla-y, cakey flavor, caffeinated kick, and no sugar. It is party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or at Amazon. So Ole Miss had a really good bounce back after a disappointing Friday in a game that Ole Miss should have absolutely won against the Baylor Bears. There was a little bit of hangover with the bats, all except for Dom Decker. He was hitting solo home runs literally right and left, and he got to see the Crawford boxes, got it out into right field. Collin Reuter hit a home run. It was 3-0 for a large portion of the game, and then the 8th inning happened. There was a 5-run 8th by Ole Miss, including a grand slam by Brett Mosely. That was pretty interesting to see exactly how that went down. Whenever you look at Ole Miss for the game, you had Dom Decker was 2 for 3 with 2 walks. So he got on base 4 out of 5 times that he went to the plate, including 2 home runs. Absolutely amazing game. Did get caught stealing, though. But, you know, whenever you're a dirtbag, you're a dirtbag, and sometimes that's going to happen. W. Mark was 1 of 5 for the game with a strikeout. After yesterday's multiple home run game by Tristan Becerra, he was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, took the serious collar. Collin Reuter was 1 for 3 with a home run, 2 strikeouts. Will Furnace had a hit on 3 at-bats with a walk. Daniel Pacella did not have the best game. He was 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Brett Mosely replaced him. He hit the grand slam. Braden Randall, I think that's 0 for 3 with a walk. He was left on base 1 time. Austin Foley 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Hayden Federico 1 for 4. He was left on base, and that was that. 7 total hits for the game, 10 total strikeouts. Not as much swing as miss as you expected after yesterday, but still too much for someone's particular liking of what's going on. Cade Townsend pitched 5 innings, I think 9 strikeouts, 1 walk for the Rebel pitcher. He's quickly turning into, honestly, the ace of the staff because of the consistency he gives in the first inning till the end of his outing as well. He is somebody that just produces over and over again, and it's kind of interesting to see how it goes. One thing, Judd Udemark this season, his on-base percentage, .524. Collin Reuter 541, Will Furnace 575. Lots of plus 500 on base percentage when you include that with the batting average. They're going to have OPS well over 800, and a lot of stuff. Udemark is over 1,000 or 1,500 at the moment, 1.5 for him. Brett Mosley's OPS right now is 2.677, or is absolutely nuts. So he's on base quite a bit as well. Really interesting stuff. Townsend he pitched 5 innings, got 18 batters out of 19 batters. He faced 19 batters, 18 total at bats. He walked 1 person, 3 hits on the game, 9 strikeouts. The 1 hit was a double. but they were able to retire that as well. For the season, he has a 1.404 ERA, and that's pretty cool. 8.2 innings faced going into this, and it only is going to go down, and it looks like. Yeah, he's given up 2 doubles on 6 hits for the season, plus the 3 today. So that is pretty cool to see. Ole Miss baseball, that loss to the Baylor Bears was a stinging loss. It was. Because you can see now, if Ole Miss won this game, after winning that game, they would be playing Coastal Carolina for the chance to go 3-0 in this tournament, ending the weekend 12-0. Now, they can still go 11-1. You still go into a weekend hoping that you win 2 games. And if you beat Coastal Carolina, that's exactly what they've done. But if Ole Miss is on the line of national seed and not national seed, if hosting or not hosting, 2 and a 3 seed, no matter what it is, if it comes down to that Baylor loss is going to really sting Ole Miss going forward. All right, when we come back, we're going to take your comments, if there are any, because I do realize this is a Saturday afternoon baseball game and not a lot of people are watching this stream. But if you have a comment, please comment where you're commenting from in the stream. We'll read that out as well. And if you have any questions about any of the other stuff, feel free to drop that in as well. If we have time, we'll get to that type stuff. But I understand middle of the day, it's going to be a difficult stream on a reaction thing, but we do appreciate everybody listening to this on the podcast app, as it's getting really good numbers on the audio side, if less than great numbers on the video side. But we are going to keep doing them and see if we can grow kind of the floor of the audience. I talked with a couple of people around Locked On who mentioned doing this as a way to grow the floor. So when football season comes, it even pops a little bit more. So we are going to do that as well. So when we come back, your comments, we'll talk a little bit more about the game, mention Coastal Carolina and all of that. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Welcome to the 5-hour energy flavor draft with 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, and Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone. The board is set. The flavors are ready, and I have my number 1 pick for the 5-hour energy draft. I've got them locked up. I am going with grape as still the undisputed champion of 5-hour energy. I like berry. I like pomegranate. I like some of the new stuff like Cotton Candy and Confetti Craze and that. But when it comes down to old standbys and number 1 pick, grape takes the cake. Berry's right there behind it as well. But I do think the sleeper might be, if you're thinking about it, might be pomegranate with that tangy taste whenever you drink it. It's a little bit different. So that is something that I am curious about. And, you know, of course, like berry was the flavor that we were all introduced to. So that's pretty cool to start with as well. 5-hour energy shots give you boost with 0 sugar. Find your new flavor at 5-hour energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Biggest stretch of college basketball season is almost here. Buzzer beaters, bracket buster, and those unforgettable moments that everyone is talking about the next day. Being there live for something like that, well, that is bucket list type stuff. That's hard to always get tickets to those type events, though. Long queues, prices jumping around, and surprise fees at checkout. Game Time gives its fan the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means 100% legitimate tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. The Seat View feature is a game changer. You can see a panoramic view of your exact seat before you buy. No stress, no guesswork, just smooth experience from start to finish. And that's exactly what you want. Take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's download the Game Time app today. And Coach Pay is now giving Locked On listeners up to $2,000 credit for your business when you get started today. If you manage a crew, construction, HVAC, landscaping, any operation with trucks on the road, you already know how messy it can get about gas and materials that can get. Cards get shared, receipts disappear, month end turns into a headache. Coach Pay fixes all of that. Coach Pay is the modern fuel card and expense management tool built specifically for fleets. Coach fuel, maintenance, materials, all in one card with real control and instant visibility. Every transaction shows up the moment it happens, no surprises. If someone fuels up at an odd time or tries to buy something outside of their limit, you'll know that instantly. You get real-time alerts for that. They also have automatic receipt capture that makes month-end simple, fraud protection with employee check-ins by text, no shared pins, and you can work anywhere Visa is accepted, no detours to specific stations. And it's built for operators who just don't have time to chase paperwork. And unlike old fuel cards, there are no contracts or commitments, just smarter expense control. Right now, Coach Pay is offering our listeners up to $2,000 credit when you get started on CoachPay.com/LockedOnCollege. Go to CoachPay.com/LockedOnCollege to see how you can get up to $2,000 credit. Terms apply. The Coast Visa commercial credit card is issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts are subject to credit approval. So, big day for Ole Miss. They got the win over Ohio State. We talked about how they weren't a very good program, and they're not. And in this game, you got to see why, essentially. They're starting pitching, and they got some high-end type players that are probably going to play in the league whenever they get done. But at the end of the day, they're not very good because their bullpen is not very good. The same thing happened against Ole Miss, happened yesterday against UTSA. They played pretty well until they got to their bullpen, and all of a sudden the other team started stacking runs. Same thing happened with Ole Miss, and that's how Ole Miss was able to win the game. Now you have Coastal Carolina tomorrow at 10:30-ish Central Time, something like that. So you'll get a chance to see the Rebels against the Chanticleers, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They were in the College World Series finals against LSU a year ago. Now they had some players drafted off that team, and they're dealing with some injuries right now, but that is going to be a tough game. It's a battle-tested unit. It's somebody that you want to see exactly how that goes and how Ole Miss looks like that. Now, they didn't hit the ball very well other than Tristan Becerra against Baylor until the very, very end of the game. Against Ohio State, they didn't hit the ball particularly well for about 6 innings. They had about 4 hits, but then opened it up in the later parts of the game against the bullpen. I think this is a game against Coastal Carolina that you need to be consistent from inning 1 to inning 9. This is a game that you can't necessarily take innings off. If Coastal Carolina puts their foot on your throat, they're probably going to finish the job. The difference in this game is a 2-1 weekend and a 1-2 weekend. The level of which that looks and feels is astronomically different. You can live with 2-1. You can be happy going home to midweek in Evansville after a 2-1 Bruce Bolt Classic record, even if you let that game get away. But if Ole Miss loses to Coastal Carolina, it's a 1-2 weekend, and you start to ask questions. You start to wonder what's going on, how it happened, stuff like that. We will see. We will live stream immediately after the game as well. We will also have to record our Monday show tomorrow as well. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day for me. I hope everybody is ready to go. And thanks for tuning in to today's Locked On Ole Miss podcast. We're going to continue to talk about this baseball team over the course of the weekend and week. We'll talk about this train wreck that is scheduled to happen in Washington currently. All of that is going to happen on the social channel, so check that out as well. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Ole Miss ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonolemiss.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we're going to send you up to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel, and on audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football. Hotty toddy, everybody. We've got one more game to react to. Ole Miss versus Coastal Carolina. Should be interesting. Take care, everybody.